Welcome to the Chaos Commanders podcast. I'm Annie, aka Commander A, military wife, mom of two, and seasoned in navigating deployments, juggling schedules, and life's unpredictable missions.
And I'm Katelynn, aka Commander K, solo mom to a busy neurodivergent teenage boy, business owner, and skilled chaos wrangler.
We're here for the moms who do it all, the sideline CEOs, the late night warriors, the women leading in their homes, businesses, and beyond.
If you've ever felt like you're running a tactical operation just to get through the day, this is the place for you. We're bringing raw, unfiltered conversations, honest insights, and tangible strategies to help you command the chaos like the Wonder Woman you are.
So grab your coffee, wine, or whatever keeps you going, because we're diving in. Welcome back, Commanders. Today's episode is about something that never ends. Figuring out what's for dinner every single night. So today we're here to share what actually gets made in our kitchens. Zero shame, minimal prep, and maximum survival.
Can't wait for it, but before we get started, we're going to go over our normal top of the show goodies. Let's start with our chaos anthem. What have you chosen for us today, Annie?
Wow, I love me some Vitamin String Quartet. I love to listen to them when I just need noise in the background that's not screaming and not the TV and just modern day, but calming. So, and the kids love it too. It's classical music, but they play modern day songs. So today's anthem is Vitamin String Quartet's version of the song Home.
Perfect. Perfect for a episode about the kitchen.
That's right.
What happens in the kitchen. All right.
And today's What's My Book.
Yes.
Which we probably should have done a recipe, but we're about to give you a bunch of recipes. So there.
And what are you reading right now?
I have just did a reread of the book Verity by Colleen Hoover. The movie's coming out at the beginning of October. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to freshen up on this because I really like to check it out. I know it ends with us. That was a little bit of a disappointing movie to me, but I feel like Verity is going to be really solid with Dakota Johnson and Anne Hathaway. Oh, yeah, I think I might check that one out. I might have to take you with me for that one.
Yeah, that would be fun. And I need to read the book before the movie comes out. So I'm going to have to add that to my list. And yeah, because I usually like the movie. I mean, I like the book better than the movie, but yeah, we'll figure it out. So right. I'm sure they'll both be good. So looking forward to it.
What are you reading?
So I am reading Fierce, Free, and Full of Fire, The Guide to Being Glorious You by Jen Hatmaker. And I was going to read a little blurb about it real quick, just to give some context. I chose this book because, as we've talked about, I'm in the middle or at the very beginning of my kind of like personal rebrand glow up. And this book felt very fitting to read as I kick all of that off, which started on September 1st and is going very well, by the way. Yeah. So on the back, just a quick blurb, it says, "The world is hungry for women who show up and tell the truth, unafraid and free, expanding to the very edges of who they were always meant to be." And on the inside cover, it talks about how this book and, Jen herself helps us single out the exact ways we pretend and instead learn how to be genuine at all times, in all ways, in all contexts. It also helps us become empowered to say yes, no, and this is how it is without guilt. Helps us make peace with our bodies, ambitions, and boundaries. Helps us own and voice our spiritual questions and convictions, and it helps us opt out of drama and into healthy adult relationships. So those things all felt very aligned with a personal rebrand, a glow up, if you will, and just wanted to recommend that. I can't speak to how great it is yet because I'm just starting it, but hopefully if anybody else wants to check it out, it'll be a great read and maybe help other people, make some changes and show up in the way that they want to in their lives. So that's my book recommendation.
Being okay saying no. That's a hard one. That's a hard one for me.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So I know you're not a self-help, book guru, but if I come across any fantastic tips that I think will be helpful, I will be sure to send them your way. That way you don't have to read the book.
Thank you. Perfect.
You're
Even
welcome.
though I probably just should.
All right. So what is your Annie update this week?
Oh man, I've been having some blood sugar issues.
Yeah.
So they don't think I'm diabetic, but they're now concerned that I'm hypoglycemic. So I get to wear this super fun continuous glucose monitor, a CGM. And that has been a journey. There's different alarms for different things, and mine go off a lot. My sugar dip's too low, and the kids are always completely freaked out by the alarm. It went off at church, which was really fun. So yeah, we are trying to get some answers to the headaches, and just yeah, always something, right?
Yeah. Yep. Especially as we age. Aging is never fun.
Nope, it
So,
is not.
but
But
yes,
I'm trying to
man.
do it gracefully.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that, you went to the doctor, were able to get in so quickly, and that they're on top of trying to figure it out. I told you a little bit over text messaging how I had some hypoglycemic symptoms whenever I was in high school. And I remember that feeling just miserable. Like I would be trying to focus on school, but yet I would be sitting there like shaking, sweating palms, just like because
Right.
my blood sugar would be low and just not feeling good and low energy and things like that. And so I know how hard you work on your health, both nutritionally and physically. And it just has to be so frustrating when things are not
Right.
going well for you. So I feel for you and I hope that you get some answers soon.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's going to be a bigger puzzle than just like, I mean, to fix hypoglycemia, you switch out your simple carbs for complex, and then you eat several like small meals a day. And we don't really know what to do because I already do all those things.
Right.
So just trying to figure it out right now. It's just watching what the trends are with the graphs and what's happening on a daily basis, and just taking lots of notes, and yeah, we'll figure it out. So if you see me lying on the sidewalk somewhere, I'm probably still alive. No, I'm not passing out yet. But
Goodness.
that's the running joke.
Yes. Well, I'm glad you caught it early and you're not passing out. That's good.
Right, right. So Katelynn, currently, what's up?
Yeah, so like I said, I started the rebrand glow up situation, and that has been fun, just tackling different little challenges. I like that it's just a day at a time, like a little thing each day that you can do just to get yourself closer to where you want to be, right?
Right.
And one of the things that I have loved so far, and even though you have one task that you're kind of tackling each day, you may not be able to finish it in a day. And so one of those things is digital decluttering. That's going to take me a while. So just trying to clean up notes on my phone, clean up pictures that are taking up space. We all have like blurry
Sure.
photos that we forget to delete, or videos that didn't turn out the way we wanted that we want to get rid of, and tons of emails and just things like that, documents that I've saved to my Google. So just trying to get rid of all of the digital clutter. So that's going to be an ongoing project, but that was one that I thought was worth mentioning because I think it's something that so many people kind of forget about. It's easy to forget
Right.
about the digital clutter.
Until
And
your time hop comes up, and then it's like, look at all these lovely blurry pictures from
yes,
7 years ago.
yes, exactly. And it just makes it overwhelming, right? When you need to find an email or find a document that you've saved, or you're looking for a specific photo that you need for something, and there's just all this like mess that you don't need in there.
Right.
Or sometimes you get a notification that like, hey, you're out of storage on your Google and you're going to have to pay for more storage. I'm like, I don't need to pay for more storage. I just need to get rid of crap that I don't need
Right.
anymore. So yeah, that was one of the things that I really wanted to tackle. So that's probably been one of my favorite things that I've challenged myself to so far, just because I think that it's gonna like lighten a load, even though it seems like out of sight, out of mind, but I know that it'll
Right.
be helpful in the long run. So definitely working on that. And then just for some fun, I wanted to mention that I recently watched the complete 6 seasons of Dawson's Creek. And so,
Ooh.
yes, I wrapped that up because, my age, like I wasn't quite in high school. I think I was like middle school when that came out. And then into early high school because I graduated high school in 2004, and I think that wrapped up maybe in 2001 or 2 or something like that. So
Okay.
they were kind of finishing, and like they were in college at the end of it. And so I was a little bit young for that show, but I do remember watching several episodes, and I remember being a big, Joey Pacey fan. And so I was like, like I want to watch this. The whole reason that I got this idea to watch that show is because I saw some TikToks with Katie Holmes and Joshua Jackson filming a new movie. And it's actually a trilogy that's going to be coming out that she has written, is directing, and starring in with him.
Wow.
And it's called Happy Hours. And so the first one should come out, I think, in like summer of 2026. And so it's not about like Joey and Pacey. It's not the same characters, but it is an interesting, like, kind of story that
Play off of it.
could play off of it because it's about like adults who reconnect that used to be a first love situation or whatever. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. And I mean, people in my generation and kind of like, I guess what would it be, Gen X, they're
Sure.
going crazy over. They're like, oh my gosh, the actors are both single right now. Maybe they'll get together. And like, it's so good to see like Joey and Pacey as adults together. But anyway, people are going crazy over it. And I was like, okay, I need to get caught up on this and know the whole backstory and all of that. So that's been a lot of fun just to kind of decompress because,
Sure.
yeah, things have been a little crazy.
Well, let's get down to business. If you're listening right now and thinking, I hate meal planning, I never know what to make, please know you are not a bad mom.
Nope, you are not. You are just a mom. And in fact, you're a very normal mom because unless you're a unicorn who actually enjoys a Pinterest perfect weekly menu, this is just a mental load nightmare.
Yep. So we thought we'd take the pressure off a little bit and do something different today. We are sharing a real week of meals from our very own kitchens.
Yep, not the aspirational color coded stuff, not the you only need 42 ingredients in 3 hours stuff.
Just actually what got made. The hits, the flops, I meant to defrost something and I didn't, so we're having sheet pancakes kind of nights.
And hey, maybe you'll get an idea or two that you can steal, or maybe you'll just feel a little more normal about the cereal dinner you had last night. So, Annie, take it away with your week of meals from the Type A, make it healthier, the week has been planned out, Commander.
Yes. So we do a lot of Brenner in our house. It's a fan favorite, so it usually happens at least once a week. And I will start it off hot with Jolie Polly's favorite dinner, which is breakfast burritos.
Yum.
We do about a dozen eggs scrambled up. We love the Azteca fajita tortillas, so they're just a little bit smaller. And then just shredded cheese. And those are pretty much the staple ingredients for that. Andre has his super spicy container of murder your mouth that he keeps stashed away. He puts that on it. You can put salsa on it. You could probably do some sausage and throw it in there if you want to. I haven't really explored with that. We are just eggs, cheese, tortillas.
Yeah.
Me and the kids. And then I will throw a veggie and a fruit on the side, and we call that Brenner.
I love
Gets
it.
the job done. It's pretty fast and easy. It's just kind of one of those go-to meals that, the nights we have piano or something going on, we can just throw that thing together. And it's fun to let the kids crack the eggs. They get a big kick out of that. So
Yeah, that sounds
gets
like
them
fun.
involved, but it's not too messy and quick and easy. Another quick and easy staple for us, especially nights that we have a late softball game or just chaos happening in the evenings. I love the Just Bare chicken nuggets, throwing those in the air fryer. Feel a little less guilty about kid dinner because they are just a little bit healthier, good protein, and they're even more affordable if you get them in bulk from Costco.
Okay.
So once again, grab a veggie, grab a fruit, throw those on the side, and you've got an 8-minute dinner. I can get dinner on the table in probably like 10 minutes with those because it doesn't take long with the air fryer. Big fan of the air fryer, as you know.
Yes. Yes. And Caden loves the Just Bear chicken nuggets. He's been playing around with those and he's been doing, we need to get an air fryer because he'd probably like them better, but he's just been microwaving them and then putting them in a bowl with some rice and some broccoli. And
Ooh,
that has been a dinner that he's like, oh, it feels healthy to me. And, it's good carbs for him with all his running and stuff that
right.
he does. And so, yeah, sometimes he'll do that. But those Just Bear chicken nuggets are fantastic.
I was just thinking about it the other day. You remember those, what are they called from McDonald's? They were the chicken wraps that they
Yeah.
used to
A
have. Like they
snack
were like
wrap.
the snack wrap. You could
Yes.
totally snack wrap the Just Bear chicken nuggets and throw them in a little tortilla.
Yeah, that's true.
I
And
might have to
McDonald's
add
did
that
just come
too.
back with the snack wrap.
That's right. They did.
Yeah. So I did get one
Ooh,
recently and I was like, oh, I should make these at home. So that's a good point. And the Just Spare
boom.
nuggets would be amazing.
Yes. Yes. Another recipe that we go to on is spaghetti and meatballs in the Instant Pot. I like to use the recipe and instructions from the Country Cook, and anything that we have a recipe for, it will be linked on our blog. So you can go to thechaoscommanders.com and check that out. But this one, I like to use the Garofalo pasta. You can find it at Costco. You can find it in any store. Again, more affordable if you buy it in bulk. I love this pasta because it is imported from Italy, which means it is not processed the same way it is processed here in the US. And you don't feel like a bloated balloon by the time you're done eating a pasta dish. So this is what I use in our instant pot spaghetti. And then I love to use the Good and Gather all beef meatballs, the Target brand Good and Gather. Yeah, super easy. Throw it all together, let the Instant Pot do the work, and serve that sucker up. My kids love spaghetti tacos. So there you go. Like we just get the Ortega corn crispy taco shells and warm those suckers up in the oven, and we can have spaghetti tacos for dinner too.
Yes, we got to try those. They were interesting.
Yeah,
I had never had them before. I think I like my spaghetti and tacos separate, but it's a fun thing for kids for sure.
kids.
But I was also going to say your meatballs are kind of famous, right? Too.
They are famous meatballs. My niece loves our meatballs when she's here. She always asks for them when she comes. The next recipe that's a go-to in our household is called Costco rotisserie chicken casserole. This is a recipe from 365 Days of Crock-Pot. Love this website. I have signed up for their daily recipe email. You get at least a recipe every single day. And the best thing about it is she almost always has a crock pot. It's called 365 Days of Crock Pot, but she's kind of more known for her Instant Pot recipes, but she always has like the crock pot equivalent of it. So if you're not an Instant Pot person, there you go. You've got a crock pot situation. Some of the healthy change ups I do for this recipe is I like to, instead of chicken broth, I use chicken bone broth. Again, get that at Costco. Instead of the regular noodles, I like to use the Goodles penne noodles. Just more protein in there. You know me, I'm always looking for protein. Hide that protein in there with those kids. And then I will use a can of regular cream of chicken soup, and then I'll use a can of the fat-free cream of chicken soup, just because it just gives it a little more bang for your buck.
Yeah.
So again, like that recipe feeds like 87 people at a time. So you're definitely going to have leftovers. This is one that I know if we have a group of people coming over or we're doing Sunday dinner with my parents, this is a really great recipe to just feed everybody. It's a hearty meal. It's a great fall meal. I'll do some mashed potatoes. We love the Idahoan instant mashed potatoes. I'll do another veggie, maybe a fruit on the side. And I think for the longest time, you might have believed that that's all I knew how to cook because every time I invited you over for dinner, that's what we were having.
Yep, this is true. And we always would have like days of leftovers whenever we would
Yep.
leave. And it's like, how did that much food come out of your Instant Pot? I
I know.
was always amazed. But
Not
yeah,
only would you have leftovers, we would still have leftovers.
yeah,
When Andre wasn't home, I would make this quite often, and I would literally send half of the what it made over to our neighbors. I would be like, "Please don't make dinner tonight because I've made it for you, and you're also going to have leftovers for the rest of the week."
yeah, yeah, absolutely. It is great when you need to feed a ton of people or when you know that you have like a really busy week and you just need a great leftover that you can pull out and heat up because it is really good heated up as well. And it reminds me
Yep.
of chicken and dumplings, which I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. So it
Ooh.
definitely was one that, I mean, I don't get sick of eating it at your house. So
Well,
can
that's
all,
good.
yeah, you can always count on us to come over whenever you make that.
Yes. Another fan favorite is cheeseburger mini meatloaves. This one is by a woman that goes by Hungry Girl. I've been following her website and her recipes for years. Oh man, since I think I found out about her but like back in 2006, 2007. She also has a daily newsletter that doesn't always have a recipe. Her newsletters are Monday through Friday, but there's at least one recipe a week, if not kind of thrown in there throughout the week, multiple recipes. This one is a quick and easy recipe to make. You can even make it ahead, throw it in your fridge, and like if you have time the day before, make it ahead, throw some saran wrap on top of it.
Hmm.
And then just I would set it out for like a half an hour before you cook it just so it's not so cold. Otherwise it could take a little bit longer to make it, or to bake it rather. This
Sure.
one's a good one for meal prepping too. Throw these in the oven and put a couple of them in a container with a veggie, and then you can reheat it later in the week or take it for lunch to work. So yeah, that's another favorite for us. I know you have, I should probably call them cheeseburger mini loaves. I know you have a
I know I was going to
thing.
say confession time. So Annie hates the word moist. And I make that same sound when I hear meatloaf. And I have never liked meatloaf. And part of it is just because my mom would make it when I was a kid and like the tomato sauce on the top. And I don't really love tomato things. And I did not like meatloaf as a child, but also the word, like just thinking meat loaf. Ew, it just sounds disgusting. Who wants to eat a frickin' loaf of meat? Nasty. It just sounds gross. So immature of me, but yeah, I'm like not a fan of meatloaf because of that. So, which you'll find very funny when I share one of my recipes here in a minute. So we'll chat about that. But yeah, don't invite me over for cheeseburger mini meatloaves, please.
Just call them cheeseburger mini loaves.
Yep.
You
Yep.
would really like them though, I promise.
Maybe if we like
Minus the meat,
cut it up and like hide the meatloaf factor from me or something. Like
right?
have to treat me like a child when
They
it
look
comes
like
to that meal.
muffins. They look
Okay.
like burger muffins.
Okay. That's
Maybe I
not
should
as
name
bad.
them meat cheeseburger mini muffins.
Yeah, that might
Would
not
that
be
be
so
better?
bad. Yeah. I think I like that better.
All right, we're changing the name.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, this next recipe, a tried and true recipe in this household, sheet pancakes. The recipe that we have linked is by Dash of Jazz. It is Kodiak cakes, sheet pan, protein pancakes, and man, they are a lifesaver. This is the one that it is my go-to if I mess up and forget to thaw something, or we just don't feel like what's on the menu for the
Yeah.
night, because as you know, I plan the week ahead so I can grocery shop for the week, and we pretty much stick to it, but there are nights that I just look at that recipe board and I'm like, not today.
Yeah.
That's not happening today. So this is usually my fallback if it's not already on the menu for the week. This one's great. I use just the regular Kodiak cake mix. I know the recipe calls for, I think, the almond flour. I have a tree nut allergy. So I just use the regular one. We use Fairlife milk. Love that milk for many reasons, but again, protein. And then I put it in the sheet pan and I will divide it into sections. It usually looks a lot like there's a part that's just the regular pancake, there's a part that's got blueberries in it, there's a part with mini chocolate chips, and then a section with sprinkles because you can't go wrong with sprinkles.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it. Everybody gets a little something that they love. In fact, one night, if you double the recipe, it makes this insane amount of pancakes. And the kids, it was over the summer, the kids had a whole bunch of friends over, and I was going for like Cool Mom Award that night. So I doubled the recipe. Everybody ate at our house. And these girls, let me tell you, their minds were blown that pancakes could be baked in a sheet pan. They were
Yeah.
like, what is this witchcraft that you have going on right now? And they loved it. It was so cute. Everybody ate them all up. It was fantastic.
I've tried all of them, and Caden, I can't remember which ones are his favorite, but the blueberry are my favorite. Especially you had some like really big blueberries one time,
Yep.
and oh my gosh, they tasted amazing in there.
So they just like pop in your mouth.
Yeah. Yep, they were
Yep.
really good.
Yep. Another one on the sheet pan side is we do sheet pan eggs, and we don't necessarily do these for dinner. This is more of a like meal prep, make sheet pans. So you literally just whisk up your eggs, you pour them in a sheet pan, you bake them, and then I cut them into 12 sections and put them in a container. And then they're great for egg sandwiches. They're great for just just eat them like that, or roll them up and make a little egg burrito or whatever you want to do. But the great thing about both of these recipes is that if you're doing meal prep, you can bake them ahead of time, and then you can take a circle cookie cutter and cut circles in the sheet pancakes. Like if you did a whole pan of regular sheet pancakes and then cut a bunch of circles, and then do the same thing with your eggs, and then you can stack them together with like a round regular sausage or turkey sausage, those like round flat ones,
Yeah.
the Jimmy Dean. You can assemble it all together and you have a McGriddle. You can put it in parchment paper, foil, shove them in the fridge, and then take the foil off, throw them in the microwave. And another thing my Jamaican husband taught me to do with microwaving or reheating food in the microwave is so if you're going to do the McGriddle, wrap it in a wet paper towel or cover your food with a wet paper towel. And then you don't get that like weird reheated microwave food texture, weirdness, dryness thing that happens.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah. So, as far as sides go, I love the Good and Gather, the Target brand, steam in the bag vegetables. Those are always a quick and easy, like if I don't want to have to deal with, if we're in a hurry, those are my go-to.
Yeah.
So
I like to keep some of those around as well.
super helpful. All right. So now that we know what's for dinner in Commander A's kitchen, how is Commander K planning meals as a type B?
Yeah. So for me, we've, talked about this before. Things are a little more loosely planned, but obviously I have to plan to an extent because I have to buy the ingredients for things, right? But I really focus on what is going to be quick or what are some comfort meals. So those are the two things that we kind of prioritize around here. And I am definitely not a healthy swap person because while I come to your house and eat things that you have done healthy swaps for, I don't really have anything to compare it to. So I just eat your version and I'm like, okay, it's good. I like it, right? But if I take things that I've grown up on or recipes that I have at least had a few times and I try to do a healthy swap for it, I find that it just tastes like crap. And I hate that. But yeah,
That's
not
fair.
I'm not a healthy swap. Like I either will choose a healthy meal. Like if I want to eat healthy, I will just choose a healthy meal. Or if I want like a Southern food meal, there's no way I'm making it healthy because it's just not going to taste good. There's no point. So
Right.
yeah, it's like one or the other. I just don't do healthy swaps. And I'm sure I'm missing out on some things that probably wouldn't taste that bad, but it's just never worked out for me in the past.
Can't do
So-
it.
Yeah.
It's a sin.
Yes, exactly. So let's dive into some of the things that are just on, regular rotation in our kitchen. One of the biggest ones is burger night because it is so easy and my kid loves it, and he'll even do these like on a weekend for lunch, or he can cook them himself if he needs to. Like there's been a time where I've been sick and he's like, I'll make burgers. So
Perfect.
it works out amazing. And I know you don't use the grill, right? Like that was one of
No,
our
still
that was one
still
of our
learning.
episodes. Yep. You've got to learn to use the grill. So if you are someone who doesn't like to use a grill, I love to use the Holton's Chop House 100% beef smashed burgers. And they remind me of like the patties that you would get if you go to Freddy's, right? So like
Okay.
those Freddy's are more smashed burgers. So these are really good. You can cook them in a regular skillet. You could cook them on a cast iron skillet to have more of like the grill mark situation. But they are just so good, and they don't taste like frozen burgers. Like
Yeah.
we've tried a lot of different kinds, and they taste like a fresh hamburger to me. And then Kaden loves to pair them with French fries, which sometimes I'll go all out and make homemade French fries, but most of the time we do fries in the oven, baked French fries.
Okay.
And those are another thing that like I'm not a huge fan of. I usually think they taste like crap.
Air fryer.
Yes, except I told you when we had an air fryer, our air fryer made everything taste like nasty plastic. So
You got to try again.
yes,
You
I have
really
to try
do.
again. I clearly did not have a good air fryer whenever we tried that, because yours does not do that to the food. So we definitely need to get one. But he really likes, we have tried all the different brands of French fries, and the ones that we have found to be the best that don't taste like nasty boiled water French fries is the Checkers Rallies famous seasoned fries. Those are really good. And they have a little bit, I don't know, I mean, they're seasoned, so they have a little bit of a kick to them. And yeah, we really like them. So super easy meal or lunch if you need it. Or if you have older kids who are starting to learn how to cook, it's a great thing for them to like learn how to just heat up a burger and make some fries.
Yeah.
So then Caden's favorite meal, definitely a Southern food option, is homemade fried chicken. I kind of go a little bit on the spicier side.
Mm-hmm.
And then homemade mashed potatoes. We don't do instant mashed potatoes over here. I used to be a huge instant mashed potato fan, and Caden was too. But then it got to the point where he was like, I don't like those anymore. So we do real mashed potatoes and gravy and green beans. And a lot of times for ease, since we're going through the ordeal of making regular mashed potatoes, we'll just do, quick canned green beans and not really do much to them and just put some of the gravy on top because we all like that.
Sure.
But I'm also going to share the Cracker Barrel copycat green bean recipe because if we have more time, those are kind of our go-to green beans. We do those when we're having kind of this fried chicken meal, or even for like holidays. A lot of times if we're making green beans, we'll use that recipe for our green beans.
Yeah. I
They're
was just
really
going to
good.
say, you're coming over for Thanksgiving and you're going to bring those green beans.
I can definitely do that.
I had no idea about the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
You guys always just like so kindly eat when we the chicken casserole.
We like yours. I think it's just because like my mom, I don't know, she buys the cheap crap.
Oh, well.
It's like Walmart brand instant mashed potatoes. And
No, always Idahoan. Always.
yeah. Because he's never said anything about yours. I don't mind yours. I mean, because I loved instant mashed potatoes when I was a kid, so they don't bother me.
Funny.
But
I find so many things out about you on our podcast.
I know. He's also very picky about like if there are ever any lumps in your mashed potatoes. Oh, he's like,
Okay.
no, thank you. So that's why we went with instant mashed potatoes when he was younger, because it was a texture thing. Like he just would not eat them if they were lumpy at all. And so bless my mom's heart, like she had to figure out how to make the smoothest regular mashed potatoes ever once he realized that he was not a fan of instant anymore. So yeah,
Some strong biceps go into that.
absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of work. So that one is not the easiest meal to make, but if you are wanting like a good comfort food meal, and you can always, do instant mashed potatoes, do canned green beans, like you can make it easier. The fried chicken
Sure.
is the most difficult part, and it's really not that bad. So, but a lot of people are afraid of fried chicken too. A lot of people are like, what? You make fried chicken at home? Like, yes,
Yeah.
it's not difficult. So don't be afraid to try it. The next one is one that reminds me of home. It is my mom's go-to recipe that all her friends, or her go-to meal, I should say, that all her friends are like, okay, you're making this when we get together, right? Like, and she would have friends over to the house and make this. And also a meal that was on rotation, for our family is chicken and dumplings. And then the side was always sauteed squash and zucchini. And
Ooh.
when her friends were coming, we also got her homemade brownies, which were amazing. But I don't make those on the regular. So one thing that I have done to make her chicken and dumplings a little bit more exciting, you'll notice the trend here is going to be seasoning, like spiciness, is that now instead of just boiling the chicken for the chicken and dumplings, I actually make the recipe that I've shared before, which was, I'm trying to think of what we called it, but it's just baked chicken. Like it was just my simple like baked chicken recipe that I shared, but we call it spicy chicken because it does have a little bit of a kick to it. I actually,
Why is it so spicy?
just say that every time I say spicy, huh? We bake that first and then put that into the pan whenever we're doing like the soup and the dumplings. And so instead of boiling the chicken and having it be more bland, it has a little bit more flavor to it. And everybody really likes that. So yeah, that one is one that is just, definitely a comfort meal that makes me think of home, makes me think of growing up. And it's really good.
Almost fall. What a great recipe for fall.
I was going to say it's really good for cold weather, which we get a lot more of up here than we do down in Oklahoma. So it's a perfect recipe for up here. Okay, the next two are super easy, a lot less involved for them. So fajitas, I have recipes that I have used that are either a sheet pan version where you just put everything on the pan and put it in the oven and it kind of, chars everything a little bit. And I mean, it's super easy. And then you have your tortillas and whatever toppings you want, or a stovetop option, which is also really just as easy. And I just kind of blacken everything in a skillet. Sure. But this is great for leftovers and for meal prep. There's always enough that you could either portion it out for your lunches for the week or for dinners or, do leftovers and everything.
Throw that on a salad. Yum.
Yes, exactly. And I was going to tease you too about healthy swaps. My mom is always like, you could do plain yogurt instead of sour cream on things like fajitas. And I'm like,
you can.
Yogurt on fajitas? There is no way. I'm not doing that.
I'm going to have you over for tacos and I'm just going to put like some plain yogurt in a dish and you'll think it's sour cream and I'll be like, this is amazing.
Like the texture has to be different. Like number one,
It's not.
I don't like yogurt at all.
Okay.
I used to force myself to eat yogurt whenever I was like trying to eat healthy, although the Yoplait blueberry that has, a lot of sugar in it is not really a healthy version of yogurt. So yeah, I feel like sour cream is a different texture than yogurt. Yogurt seems heavier to me. And I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it should go on fajitas.
I feel like we have to do like some sort of we put it, you've seen those things where like they put things like the drinks in a box.
Yes.
And it's like, which one do you think this is? And
yes.
There's like people who are like, this is a Coke and this is a Coke Zero. And yeah, we got to do that with you.
You're going to like blindfold me at your house and do like healthy swap taste testing. Like she's going to do a whole experiment, people. Okay.
Yep.
She's going to prove to me
for science.
Yes. She's going to prove to me that it's all a mental block and I really like these healthy swaps. Then I'm going to be like, dang you, Annie. Why'd you have to ruin it for me?
It'll be a live podcast episode.
Right. The first video we ever do, Katelynn trying healthy food swaps.
I love it.
All right. So then another sheet pan meal is turkey sausage, potatoes, and green beans. Super simple. You can also do this one in a skillet, but put it in the oven. Super easy. And this one is, again, great for leftovers and great for meal prep. And my kid loves it if you just slather white country gravy all over it. That makes it amazing for him. So
he's so Southern. I love it.
Yes. I mean, I like it like that too, but we would eat it plain. And then it got to the point where he was like, I'm kind of bored of this. Like, I don't know. I don't love it. And I'm like, what about gravy? And he's like, okay. So
gravy makes everything better.
It does. It does. But yeah, we are definitely Southern food people for sure. Then omelets. So our Brenner night, sometimes we'll do, the breakfast burritos or breakfast tacos like you talked about. And I was going to interject and say one of the things that I never thought to do with breakfast tacos or burritos, but I was introduced to by my mother-in-law, Mexican family, is potato and egg. That's one that you'll find.
Oh.
Like when you're in Texas and, different places where you can go to like Mexican restaurants or taco trucks or whatever, and you can get their like breakfast tacos or breakfast burritos, whichever they call them. Potato and egg is a pretty popular one. And so a lot of times I'll do like a piece of bacon with some scrambled eggs, and then I just use frozen hash browns, and I'll make a little bit of frozen hash browns, and we'll put some of those in our tacos as well. So
Yum.
yeah, it's really good. Just gives it another layer, another little bit of texture and flavor and everything. So yeah, really good. But yes, we like to do omelets if we're kind of going a little more fancy. Not that it's not difficult or anything, but I basically just saute like different colors of bell peppers, whatever I have on hand, some onions, and to keep things a little spicy, put some jalapenos in there. And just saute all of that. Oh, and some spinach. Caden won't have that. He won't have any of the veggies, but my mom and I always liked to add some spinach to ours. And so then, yeah, just like saute all of that in a pan, set it aside, and then start making your omelets. And you can add in bacon if you want, or sausage, whatever kind of meat that you want to add to it, or just keep it veggie, and then some cheese, and yeah, make delicious omelets. And Caden loves to do like a side of pancakes or waffles with his, and yeah. So
Has he got you to make the sheet pancakes yet to go with it?
no, we have not done that.
That's an
at
Annie
home.
house thing.
Yeah, that's a your house thing. I was trying to think for a second. I was like, I have made something in the sheet pan that you told us about, and it was the eggs. We did do the sheet pan eggs because that was really good for making him egg sandwiches because he loves those. So yep. So that is our Brenner meal. And then our last one, which is a version of meatloaf, but a more acceptable one to me, is salmon loaf. And this is one that my mom, I just grew up with her making it, and she makes like homemade tartar sauce to go with it and everything. And usually she serves it with like a veggie and maybe some rice or something, which is a little carb heavy, I feel like, for that meal, but it's just kind of what she always did. So I would probably do like 2 veggies, like maybe green beans and carrots or something like that. Probably not do rice since it already has bread in the loaf. But yeah, salmon loaf is one that I asked her, I was like, so where do I find this recipe? Like other than just taking a picture of it or typing it up. And so I'm going to try to track it down so that I can link it. But she said it was in the very first Better Homes and Gardens cookbook that she got when she got married. Well, she was born in 1954 and she got married when she was 18. So this is a very old cookbook. And she's like, I think, it's got to be like the original one because I guess later versions either had a different recipe or they didn't have the recipe. So I'll have to track it down.
Fun fact, my mom worked for the publishing company,
No
Meredith
way.
Corporation. Yeah. So I think she actually has the original cookbook. I think she does have that. I'm going to have to ask her about that.
That
Mom, if
is
you're listening, I need you
amazing.
to pull it out.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if it's in there.
Very cool. That
Super
is
cool.
awesome. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good recipe. A lot of times we'll either, depending on how many people we have for dinner, it's either all gone or we might, like if it's just my mom and I, because this is one that Caden won't eat. So whenever she was living with us, we would make him something different. And then her and I would like have this for dinner. And then sometimes we would just have the leftovers for lunch the next day whenever I was like working from home or whatever. So yeah, that one's a good one. Especially if you have a meatloaf aversion and you still want a loaf of some kind, just do salmon instead.
Oh my gosh. All right, Chaos Commanders, we hope this episode has made your life a little easier in the dinner department. Let us know if you try one or some of our recipes and how it went for you. And we are always on the lookout for recipes to change things up for us. So we would love it if you would share your go-to dinners.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a heads up, we are going to be wrapping up our first season of the podcast after our 25th episode and taking a break starting in October. We have some exciting things to work on and cannot wait to share what we have in store for season 2, but more to come on that later. and we will talk to you next week. All right, Chaos Crew, that's a wrap for today. If you loved this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your fellow commanders.
Don't forget, we're all in this together. Join the conversation in our Chaos Commanders community on Instagram and Facebook, where we keep it real, raw, and ridiculously fun.
Remember, our fears establish the limits of our lives, so go push past them.
And always leave others better than you found them.